You ever watch Shark Tank and just wonder, what does it really take? I mean, you see these self-made billionaires sitting in those chairs, making these massive deals, building empires right in front of us. But how did they actually get there? What's the real story? Well, today, we're going to crack that code. We are diving into the 6 secrets behind their incredible success.
Okay, but before we jump into their advice, I want you to ask yourself something and be honest. How hard are you really willing to work for what you want? Just let that sink in for a second, because pretty much everything we're about to talk about boils down to that one simple but kind of brutal reality.
So what we're going to do is break down the most powerful, no-nonsense advice from these 6 entrepreneurs. And remember, these are people who built billion-dollar fortunes literally from the ground up. This isn't some textbook theory, okay? This is the real-world playbook that actually got them to the top.
All right, let's get into it. Here are the 6 secrets to success, one by one.
Kicking things off, we have secret number 1, coming from the queen of New York real estate herself, Barbara Corcoran.
And her message? It's about as clear as it gets. This is not a part-time hobby. If you're serious about this, if you want to build real wealth, you've got to have a level of commitment that, let's be honest, kind of borders on obsession.
So, what does going all in even look like? Well, for starters, it means you're ready for 12-plus-hour days. That's the minimum. It means you have to grow a really thick skin because you're going to face constant opposition and people telling you it can't be done. It also means you absolutely cannot waste time feeling sorry for yourself when you fail. And this is a huge one. You have to be a leader who's so compelling that you can actually inspire other talented people to drop what they're doing and join your vision.
Okay, that idea of relentless determination, it leads us perfectly into our second secret, which comes from, you guessed it, the one and only Mark Cuban.
Now, his advice sounds simple on the surface, right? But Cuban adds this really critical layer to it. He says the only way you can possibly sustain that insane level of hard work is if you are genuinely, deeply passionate about what you are doing.
And he's got a story that just proves it. When he was starting out, he loved programming so much that he'd literally do it for 20 hours a day. He wasn't even thinking about the money. He was just obsessed with the work itself. That is the kind of fuel you need. And he also has a warning for you. The second you get comfortable, someone smarter and hungrier is right on your tail trying to beat you. You can never, ever stop learning.
All right, so building on that whole idea of passion, our third secret comes from Lori Grainer, the queen of QVC, and she adds another really critical piece to the puzzle.
So Lori definitely agrees with the whole passion thing, but she adds this vital goal: mastery. See, for her, it's not enough to just do what you love. The real goal is to become the absolute, undisputed best at it. And what's the crucial point here? It's all about focus. Don't be that person chasing 5 different ideas at once. No, pick one thing and go deep. You have to know your business inside and out, better than your competitors, better than your employees, even better than your customers. She says you've got to be hungry for that success and know exactly when to pivot. It's about being strategic, not just being busy.
Okay, so we've gone from passion to mastery and now to mindset. Secret number 4 comes from the notoriously blunt Kevin O'Leary, aka Mr. Wonderful.
And of course, you can count on Kevin to be brutally honest, right? His philosophy is basically twofold. First, you will never get truly rich working for somebody else. And second, the path to building your own empire is paved with just immense sacrifice.
And believe me, he is not kidding when he says work like a slave. He talks about this period in his own life where there were 0 breaks, no holidays, and very, very little time with his family. It's a harsh truth for sure, but here's his point. That insane upfront sacrifice is what buys you your freedom later on. The freedom to spend your time how you want, with who you want.
And that idea, building something for future freedom, that leads us to a really foundational business lesson for secret number 5, this one from Robert Herjavec.
You know, Robert just has this way of cutting through all the noise and getting right to the absolute core of what a business even is. It's not about chasing money. It's about solving a real problem for real people. Simple as that. And listen, this distinction right here, it is everything. A want is something that's nice to have, but a need is essential. A need solves a pain point that is so big, people can't imagine going back to life without your solution. That is where you create true, sustainable value. So you have to focus on the need. And he lays out this simple 4-step blueprint. Step 1, find that need. Step 2, create the solution. Step 3, make sure people will actually pay for it. And then step 4, and this is so important, act immediately. Don't sit on it. Don't wait.
All right, our sixth and final secret really brings all of these ideas full circle. And this one comes from the founder of FUBU, the amazing Damon John.
Damon really brings it back to the fundamental driving force behind everything. For him, the whole journey, it just has to be about more than the money.
And his advice here is really profound. He says, look, forget about the money, at least at first. Instead, focus on finding that one thing you love so much you'd honestly do it for free. Now, he's realistic. He admits it's hard to find and success is absolutely not guaranteed. But his point is this: life is just too short to spend it doing something you hate. A life spent chasing your passion is never, ever a waste, no matter how it turns out financially.
So there you have it, 6 secrets from 6 self-made billionaires. And when you step back and look at all of them together, you start to see a pretty clear pattern emerge, don't you? It really all boils down to 3 core pillars. First, an undeniable passion that's going to fuel you through the tough times. Second, an absolutely extreme work ethic that lets you outlast everybody else. And third, a relentless focus on solving a genuine, real-world problem.
And I want to leave you with one final, really powerful thought, again from Robert Herjavec. All the planning in the world, all the ideas, they mean absolutely nothing without action. That perfect moment you think you're waiting for, guess what? It's never going to arrive.
So, after hearing all of this, really the only question left is the one right there on your screen. When will you start?